Hey, this is a Cali-Bros fisheye lens mod video. We're going to show you how to take a H107D and really widen the angle of view you get. Make this thing a lot easier to fly. What you're going to need is fisheye lens, like this one here. We got them on our site. A little bit of heat shrink tubing, about a little bit less than a ½ inch. Hot glue gun, some epoxy. Pretty much any kind of epoxy will work. Definitely don't use super glue or CA because it'll make a white film on the plastic. Dikes and scissors. And let's get rid of this green plastic housing. Break it like that. Some of these come off easier than others. Some have a little bit more glue. Looks like this one's going to come off pretty easy. Pull that off. I'm just going to start cutting this thing in a few different places and eventually it'll just pop off. Now it's really important when you take this apart that you pay attention to the way that the lenses are situated. What I mean is the flatter side is going to go on the bottom. So the side that's up right now is a little bit rounded and you got to pay attention to that. Also, this little plastic spacer right here, you need to keep that, don't break that. Set this down somewhere clean, knowing what side is up. Get your epoxy. It's really important that you stir these up pretty good. And that's about all you need. You take this little black spacer, dip it in the epoxy, both sides, set it down right in the middle of this. And don't put so much epoxy that it's going to drip down into the lens. You just want a little bit. But it's easy. You just set it down right in the middle. Now what we're going to do is take this heat shrink tubing and press it on over this. This is ½ inch heat shrink tubing, 475 thousandths. So put it on here, have it extend a little bit over the lens because when you heat it up it's going to shrink and you want it to kind of just curl over the top of this lens. Probably don't use a lighter because a lighter will put some film on the lens. You don't want to risk that. Okay, so we got our lens all heat shrinked up. You can see it kind of wraps around the front and the back of this lens. Take your trusty hot glue gun and just put some hot glue around the bottom. Okay, the bottom's all good. Now we're going to go ahead and do the top. And it's good if you seal all the way around it. That way dust can't get in between the lens and the camera. And that's it. Next we're going to show you how to modify the antenna to get longer range. And with these two mods, it really makes this an awesome machine. Here you can see both quadcopters side by side with the modded one on the right with the fisheye lens. And you can clearly see the edges of the doorway on both sides on this one. This is going to make it much easier to fly FPV and get around the house and even outdoors. It can give you a better perspective of where you are.